Hey everyone, Mark Rusin here, back for another video, and I think you're really going to enjoy today's video as I will be revealing my entire dividend portfolio, going over specific weightings in my portfolio, as well as projected dividend income for the year. I ran a poll recently on Twitter with specific topics that you would like to see in future videos, and the winner of that poll was the revealing of my dividend portfolio, so here we are. As a dividend investor, I've had a portfolio tracker for some time now. Not so much as to track my performance, but more so to see the dividend growth year in and year out, and I will dive into that with you today as well. I plan to do regular updates on my dividend portfolio to go over recent performance, any buys and sells, and any dividend news that is noteworthy. Also, if you love dividend income and you love passive income, do me a huge favor and hit that thumbs up button down below, as that is huge for Mr. Algorithm and the growth of this channel moving forward. Also, hit that subscribe button so you are notified anytime we drop a new video. With that being said, let's get started. As always, everything shared in this video today is for educational and informational purposes only, so please perform your due diligence as I am not a financial advisor. Many of you have asked on social media what platform I use for investing. Well, I use a blend. I use a blend of M1 Finance as well as Fidelity. And if you are new to investing and want to open a new account, definitely check out M1 Finances. Right now they're giving away $50 free for anyone that opens a new account using my link below in the description area. Okay, it's the moment you've all been waiting for. Here is the reveal of my dividend portfolio. All right, so here you go. Here's a first look of my dividend portfolio and tracker. So at the top, you're going to see the summary section, which is going to have the portfolio value as well as the different dividend stats that I like to look at each and every day. The cost basis for starters is going to be the amount of money that I have invested into this account. So again, this is my dividend portfolio. I do have growth stocks and options that I also trade outside of this account as well, but this is all dividend related positions that I have. So far I've invested $168,000 and the current market value is a little below $200,000 with the dip in the market today. And this updates, as you just saw it click over, this updates on a timely basis through Google Finance. I think it's about every 5 minutes or so. Under that, you're going to see the unrealized gain or loss. So right now we're sitting on, in these positions, about a $28,000 gain, which is roughly 17%, and that was much higher at the close of 2021 due to the fact that I did a lot of tax harvesting or selling of some positions, just due to the fact that there's a lot of talk in Congress right now of increased tax rates moving forward. So I do that a lot now. It's going to be in my taxable account because the Roth IRA account, where I hold a lot of dividend positions, there is no tax implications there. So a lot of my selling, most of my selling was in my taxable account. So with all of that selling, you will see actually my cash account has built up to almost a top 10 position in my portfolio after doing a lot of that selling. So right now I have a tad under $7,000 to put to use for this portfolio. Moving to the right side here, you'll see my dividend stats section. This is going to show my projected annual dividend income. So with this portfolio right now, we are projected to receive nearly $4,800 this year, and that equates to a yield of 2.44%. On the year, the portfolio has lost a little under 2%, and so far the S&P 500 is down roughly 2.3%, so we're slightly outpacing that right now as it's been tough sledding in the market. Alright, so that kind of gives you an idea on what the top summary sections are there with the portfolio value and the dividend stats, which is updating on a regular basis. Next, let's take a look at the actual position headers. I want to have between 30 and 40 positions in my portfolio. Anymore, I think it's just a little bit too much work. And for those of you that aren't involved in the market and don't want to be as hands-on, maybe it's a few less shares than that. Maybe it's 10 or 20 is kind of your sweet spot. So find what you're comfortable with and what you want to keep up with when you're dealing with individual shares. So we have the number of shares. Next, we have the company name, the ticker symbol, the shares that I currently own, the current price, which is updated through Google Finance on real time, so it updates every few minutes, the market value, which is just strictly the current price times the number of shares I have, and how that weighting is in my portfolio as a whole. So you see right here, the Vanguard S&P 500 Index Fund weights at about 11% of my total portfolio. Next, we have cost basis per share, what I bought those shares for. cost basis in terms of total value. Next, we go to the dividend stats section. So we have annual dividend, which is the rate per share. So I'll be updating that manually anytime we get dividend increases. Next, we have dividend income, which is just your dividend rate times the number of shares we own. So that's really going to be where our $4,800 number is coming from there. Next, we have dividend yield, and followed by yield on cost, which is just a calculation based on your cost basis compared to where the dividend is on a per rate basis right now. All right, next, let's go through these positions that I currently own in my dividend portfolio. So it's going to be a mix of ETFs, index funds, and individual stocks. So first is, and this I've talked about it a lot, is a foundational position and should be a foundational position in almost every portfolio. And that is the Vanguard S&P 500, whether it's an index fund or an ETF. Scanning through mine, you'll see I have a couple different ones just because I have some in my Roth IRA, which is where this giant one is, and then I also have some exposure as well as in my taxable account. So right off the bat, we have our Vanguard S&P 500 index fund, which has a weighting of 11.6%, followed by the Vanguard Dividend Appreciation. And you know me, I love dividend growth stocks. So this is the Vanguard Dividend Appreciation ETF, or I should say index fund, which has a weighting of 8.5%. Next is one of my favorite individual dividend paying stocks, and that is AbbVie, stock ticker ABBV, and that has a 6.6% weighting in this portfolio, followed by Johnson & Johnson, Bristol Myers Squibb, another S&P 500 index fund, Apple, the Schwab Dividend ETF, VC Properties, which is a REIT. I currently bought more of that, so we'll see a tick up in the cost basis per share. Another one I've recently bought of that now is in the top 10 is Lockheed Martin, stock ticker LMT, with a 4% weighting. There's the Vanguard High Yield ETF, stock ticker VYM. So this is going to be a little bit slower dividend growth, but it's going to give you a little bit higher yield. And then there's our cash position. So with all the stocks that I sold at the end of the year, I've now raised my cash position to a top 12 position. We're seeing a dip in the market, so I'm going to be finding opportunities to put that money to work here in the near future. Next is Visa. It's going to be a low yield stock, but higher dividend growth and an opportunity for higher growth potential as well once travel opens back up. That has a 3.1% weighting in the portfolio. Next, we have Deere Company. That is the tractor and construction heavy equipment that's out there. We have the Consumer Discretionary ETF, followed by Altria Group, the iShares Dividend Growth ETF, Invesco Next Gen ETF. So this is you have your QQQ ETF, and then you have a QQQJ. So it's just your next 100. These are going to be more mid-cap tech growth stocks, which pays a minor dividend there as well. Next, you have your Vanguard Tech ETF. You have NNN, which is National Retail Properties, another REIT there. We have WP Carey, another REIT, followed by Starbucks, which I recently bought more of this morning, followed by Iron Mountain, Simon Property Group, Realty Income, Verizon Wireless, another iShares S&P 500. This is going to be the ETF. That's in my taxable account. We have Microsoft, Public Storage, Raytheon, Store Capital, followed by 3M at the bottom. So there you have it. Those are all of my positions currently, but with the market dipping in that cash position, I will be looking to add to these positions or opening a new position with a different stock here in the near future, and I will keep you comprised of that in future dividend portfolio updates. So let's move to the next tab here, and this is our dividend income tracker. So here at the bottom, I've put a chart in that's going to kind of track our monthly dividend income in this portfolio on a monthly basis. So the red indicates monthly dividend income that we received in 2021, and the blue is for 2022. So this is going to be projections since we're not done with January. So it shows that each and every month we are growing. As you can see, we are expected to grow our dividend income by nearly 50% this year, just due to the fact that we continue to put more money into this dividend income portfolio. So as I scroll up to the top, all you're going to see is the same positions that we saw on the first tab, but I break it into this dividend calendar. So I get to see when I'm getting paid projected wise. So that's really what this second tab is. It's more of a tracker at the bottom and a dividend calendar up at the top. The last tab is going to be portfolio performance. So this is really just tracking, again, I told you at the forefront that I don't really track the performance using this, but I did add this recently just due to the fact that it's something that you probably want to see how we're performing on a monthly basis and then on a yearly basis. So the chart's just going to show how our portfolio is growing. This is going to include any contributions that I'm adding to the portfolio as well as growth, and then here on the right. So I will kind of build this out. If you guys have any comments on what you want to see more of in this, I'll definitely take those into future considerations and potentially make any changes, because I want this to be, beneficial for you guys so that you could see how my portfolio is growing over the year. So there you have it, my dividend portfolio reveal. I hope you enjoyed it, and in future videos we will talk more about performance and individual stock performance for positions that are in the portfolio. We will discuss any recent buys or sells that I had and any dividend news that's regarding stocks in this portfolio, as well as touch on any potential watch list items as well. Alright, I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you haven't done so, please give us a thumbs up. And also in the comments section down below, let me know some similarities we have in terms of positions, whether it's ETFs, individual stocks, or index funds that you have in your portfolio as well, or any stocks that you are looking to buy in the year 2022. If you want more stock market information, then consider subscribing for the Dividend Investor's Edge, a weekly newsletter that I will begin putting out this week that will discuss anything stock market related, stock news, and of course talk about dividend stocks. So I will put that link in the description down below. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and we will see you next time. Take care.